Hey guys, I'm excited to give you another update. Sorry it's been a little while. It's been a really incredible trip so far, and I've just been wanting to experience it more and more. And then by the time I get home, I'm so exhausted, and I just think, oh, I'll make the video tomorrow. I'll make a video tomorrow, and then, well, several tomorrows later, here we are. But I'm very excited for how things are going and to give y'all an update. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for the people who continue to pray for us. Amelia and I both definitely feel it, and we are really excited and thrilled that we are able to share it with you, and that we are able to experience, what God is working in our hearts, and then the culture around us as well. So we're very grateful for those of y'all who have been supporting us, whether it's financially or in prayer or in any combination. So a little bit about what else we have done. So in addition to teaching English, learning Hindi, and teaching in some of the slum schools, Amelia and I took a trip south, further south, for a couple of weddings. So we got to wear lehengas, which are traditional Indian gowns, Indian dresses, and we went to actually two weddings while we were there. One was a little more modern style, and the other was very traditional, very village style, which both of them were really cool to participate in and to be involved in. Because we are foreigners, when we went deeper there, here in Delhi, more people come to visit. There are a lot of businesses here, things like that. So people here are a little more used to seeing foreigners. That's not true where we were. Some people had never seen a white person or anybody who wasn't Indian. And so we had a lot of people who only could say in English, like, selfie, selfie, selfie. But everybody wanted selfies, which was flattering, but also weird if you've never experienced it before, or even if you have, people coming up and asking you all the time, all different people, adults, kids, people wanting us to hold their babies, things like that. That's just, you kind of look at it and you're like, I'm just a person, but that also gives you a platform to have really great conversations and to get to know people that you wouldn't normally be able to get to know back home. So that's fun. We got to ride an elephant and a camel, and we got to go to where some of the family here grew up, and where the parents of the parents grew up, and everywhere we saw mustard plants, and I never really knew what mustard plants looked like. I never really considered a mustard plant except for, what the Bible talks about, mustard seeds. But they're the beautiful yellowy orange, not quite kind of what you think of with mustard, but pretty. Little bitty flowers just everywhere. It seems like it goes on for miles and miles. And we got to go into one of the farms that was growing. On one side they were growing sugarcane, and then another section it was like a little pond, another section it was mustard plants. With these tiny little trails raised above for us to walk on, just big enough for one person at a time to walk. You could barely even pass each other. So we got to go take pictures there and enjoy, and it just really made me think about, what God talks about in Scripture, what Jesus talks about with the faith of a mustard seed. We were able to see what that actually looks like, and it's tiny. It's so tiny. But what incredible miracles happen based off of that faith. So that was very encouraging to see. I figured out that I could live in a village. I love it. It's so much simpler. There's not people. Amelia described it well when she said that people here are always in a hurry, but are never rushing. Meaning there's always something to do. There's always somewhere to go, but it seems like people take their time doing so. But in the village, it's different. Everybody's at a soft pace. Everybody, doesn't expect to go crazy fast or think too much about trivial things that we get caught up in. It's not a social media thing. It's not a what am I identifying as? What am I seeing as? What are they thinking? It's just life. It's just simple, and it's really beautiful. That they work for their living, and what they have they share, and the community is family. And part of it was that literally everybody we saw in that village was related to the people we're staying with somehow. But it was also just that they would take care of each other, whether it was their brother or their third cousin a couple times removed. You know, they were gonna watch out for each other. We got to go visit a medical bus that goes into more rural villages where the people are not able to access, or especially not pay for, medical care. And so we got to go and be with them and enjoy spending time with the team that works on that bus. And they were more than happy to have visitors come and see and show, you know, they're very excited about what they're doing. So that was really encouraging to see. I was able to see that when I came in 2017. And since then, they've upgraded a lot and have gotten a lot of really good things, and God has really blessed them in order for them to help other people. So that's been exciting. I had a question on Facebook about what we eat. So I wanted to give you a little bit of detail on that. Here in the main city that we're staying in, there are more options. Because, you know, anytime you go into a city, you're going to have restaurants. That's just kind of how it comes with the territory. When we went to the villages, you have rice, which is chawl. You have dal, which are lentils. It's almost like a lentil soup. It's very good, but it's like beans and whatnot. Mixed veggies, usually cauliflower and potatoes, and chicken, usually with the bone in it. So you have to kind of eat around the bones, and chai. That's everything. There's not much variation. Oh, sometimes there's a chapati or a roti, which are like the thin, kind of unleavened bread, sort of, kind of like a tortilla, but like an Indian tortilla. And that's what you have pretty much lunch and dinner. Breakfast is a simplified version of that. So it's simple, and it's not, you know, extravagant. And at home, it's like, oh, we had that same meal 3 days ago. I don't want to have that again, you know? So it's definitely, it was a challenge at first, especially because so much of the food here is spicy, and I have no tolerance for spicy. I don't know why I came to India if I can't eat spicy food, because that's all they eat, but that's okay. And Amelia she said she's working on building up her spicy tolerance, meaning she doesn't have much of one either. So it was a little bit of a struggle, but at the same time, like, beggars can't be choosers, in the sense of when it's time to eat, you'll eat. You're fine. So that's really helped me with not being picky. And a lot of the people here are very good cooks anyway, so we've been able to learn how to make roti, butter chicken, which is chicken in like a, basically like a gravy, but it's not what we would consider gravy. I'll see if I can include a picture at the end. And we learned how to make roti, and then I learned yesterday how to make, I believe, chapatas, which are kind of like the thin bread I was talking about, but other things are mixed into it. So we made potato chapatas. So, yes, chapatas. And so that was really fun. So that's been an adventure in and of itself, the food. But at the same time, we've been able to introduce them to some American foods, kind of with what ingredients we can find here that we're used to. And then they've showed us more than enough different varieties of Indian food here. So it's interesting because everybody here wants to learn about the American culture. They're like, oh, what is this like? What is that like? I've had more questions about our president than I have ever had at home, because everybody wants to know, and everyone wants to, you know, see what the Americans are doing, which again is an opportunity for conversation. So that's definitely great. I am not a political person at all, so the fact that everybody seems to want to talk about politics can be a struggle for me, but it's also, you know, how we respect our leaders and how we respect the people who are in charge is a reflection, should be a reflection of Christ, and is definitely a part of your testimony. So whatever your opinions are on that realm, we're called to respect who's in charge. That's a side note, but I've been able to share that with the people here because they're, you know, everybody has different opinions, different beliefs, things like that. So that's been an interesting route of conversation. Then today we had a girls' meeting, which was a lot of fun. It was basically talking about your worth and it was girls of all ages. It seemed to be geared towards kind of teenage-ish, but it could work across the board. And they asked us if we wanted to help lead the cha-cha slide. And we're like, oh, cool, you know, a little line dance, we know that one. I didn't know that they meant they wanted us to be in charge of it. So it was just us, Amelia and I, leading 30, 40 girls in the cha-cha slide. So that was exciting. I'm hoping there aren't videos. I think there are. I don't know. So that was really fun, and it was great to be able to talk to them about their worth and about how we're designed, things like that. So that was really cool. And then yesterday we went to another town. I'm forgetting the name right now. Another town with a little village in it for a baby shower. And here they do baby showers a little bit differently. It's after the child is born. I think it's within about 45 days or so, because they keep the mom away for about 45 days just in a room with her and the baby, and people bring her food and take care of her, just for a healing process and also allowing the baby to have kind of a safe spot. Sorry, I was called for dinner. You'll never guess what we had. Chicken. Anyway, so no, it was very good. And we had naan, which is a special kind of bread that takes a lot of work to make, so we don't have to have it very much. It's very good. So I was very excited. Sorry. So when we went to the village. When we went to the village yesterday, I got to play with, it was actually 2 days ago, sorry. It was 2 days ago when we went. Everybody has open rooftops. It's very similar actually to like biblical times, where you would lay out in the sun on the roof if it was cold, or you would go and hang out on the roof when it was hot, because inside there wasn't a breeze, so outside was where everyone gathered. It's very similar to that. And there were kids everywhere. At first I didn't see any. I saw one or two who weren't related to the people we were with. But as we played, like I got their attention, and we had a tennis ball a tennis ball we were playing with. And they have their own, it's like an underground network that they can just go communicate with each other, because every time I turned around, somebody had brought 2 more kids or 3 more kids, or, the rooftops were at different levels because of all the different houses. And so they were, a couple right here that climbed a little ledge to get to ours, and then there was one way higher that we would throw the ball to, and they would drop it back down, and all of these different things. So it was fun. It's really cool to stand out in places like that, even though it draws a lot of attention that you might not want at times. It gives you opportunities like that. It gives you chances, even though you don't speak their language. There was no way you were going to sit down and have a conversation with these kids, but you can play. And you can enjoy hanging out together. And they call us Didi, that means sister. And so if they knew my name, they would say Anna Didi, Anna sister. But they don't, so they just call me Didi, which is really cute when they say it. So they would just call out Didi, Didi, and throw me the ball, or try to get me to throw it to them, or things like that. We played for hours. I was sore when I woke up yesterday because of it. But all great. I wouldn't trade it at all. And it was very, when you have those moments of just joy and peace wrapped together, it seems like they're very rare, especially back home. Just with everything that happens, and you're always go, 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 you don't always get a chance to just stop and play, especially as adults. And so to be able to play with kids, it just made me think of the scripture that talks about come with the faith of a child. And how we can go to God in that joy, or in that innocence, or anything like that, and we can just be, we can just be who we are. We don't have to put on these adult airs, or we don't have to be a certain height, or a certain weight, or a certain skin tone, or whatever. We can just go, and just they could just come to me and play and enjoy, and I made sure to include everybody, because I know it can be easy to be overlooked in situations like that when there are so many children and everybody wants your attention. So, include everybody, and it just made me very, very joyful, and I got to love on them, and we got to hold a little baby who was less than a month old, and things like that just, it reminds us why we're here, and it reminds us that we can enjoy all of these incredible things together. So the last thing is that I want to talk about prayer requests for us, Amelia and myself, along with the family that we are staying with. Amelia and I are doing very well, but we keep getting sick. I think part of it's the pollution. It's just a different balance, you know, than it is at home. It's much more polluted here, especially because we're in a city. That our bodies are just overwhelmed with it, and so once we think we're getting over it, we get it again, and it's all sinus, you know. So, and because of that, you don't get to sleep very well. And I already have pretty bad insomnia, so that together is quite the mix. So just be praying that we can be well rested, and that we can continue to encourage the people who are here. I found it very encouraging myself that people were telling us how much they're enjoying that we're here, you know, and it's not a pride thing. It's not they like that we've come to visit. It's an encouragement, you know, because I know that I was created with all of these random little talents, you know, not like an incredible amount, but a few that are just kind of like, okay, how did these go together, you know? And it seems like all of those that I wasn't able to exercise at home, or at least not to the full ability to where I was being challenged with them, I'm able to do here. You know, so we're teaching, and we're working with acting and drama, you know, and we're singing, and we're dancing, and we're playing, you know, and we're being able to be kids with these kids, you know, and enjoy it, and love on these kids in an opportunity that you don't get at home. You know, there aren't very many places at home where kids just kind of run free in the village, you know, which is good in some cases. But also you don't get the opportunity to just gather them, you know, just play a hand game with them, or just play, you know, duck, duck, goose, or tag, or things to show them that we want them, you know, and we want to be around them, and we want to love on them. So please be praying for more opportunities like that as well. There's also a team coming to visit next week. They'll be here, they might be here tomorrow, actually, something like that. I think they're traveling right now, so please be praying for their safe travel here, and then also as they travel within India, because they're going to a few different places, if I understand correctly, and that God will use them as an encouragement, and I'm just very grateful that they're coming, because they're all coming over from America, and so it's, you know, I'm surrounded by people who are incredible, and we love being around them, but there's something different about having, you know, your own people near you, at least for a little bit of time, even if you aren't close to them. Just, you know, a little taste of home is nice. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, and just be praying that we continue to work hard with what we're doing, and we can enjoy it. And yeah, if you have any questions, please leave them either in the comments here or on Facebook, or message me. You can do it however you want. Because I want to know what you want to know. I want to continue to make these update videos, but I can only tell you so many times about our classes or whatnot. So I want to know if you want to know anything. So y'all have a good, I guess it's day over there, morning for y'all. So have a good morning, night for us, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
And how can I stand here with you and not be moved by you? Would you tell me, how could it be any better than this? 'Cause you're all I